Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, a UAV shooter pleads guilty to criminal mischief. The red tail P-51 gear up landing was pilot error. Skydivers and airport board reach an agreement. I'm Bree Cross. It's February 17th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. If you think shooting down a drone you believe is operating in an offensive or invasive manner is okay, the state of New Jersey begs to differ. Last week, a man in New Jersey who did this about a year and a half ago pleaded guilty to the charge of criminal mischief in the 4th degree. Mr. Russell Percenti acknowledged that on September 26, 2014, in Lower Township, New Jersey, he used a shotgun in a residential neighborhood to shoot at a remotely controlled drone. He also acknowledged that he caused a monetary loss over $500 to the owner of that property. It's reported that 4th degree crimes can carry a penalty of up to 18 months in a New Jersey state prison. Mr. Percenti is to be sentenced to probation in April. On February 3rd, the Commemorative Air Force Red Tail Squadron P-51C Mustang landed with its landing gear retracted. While the plane was damaged, no injuries were involved. Now Commemorative Air Force Red Tail Squadron leader Bill Shepard has released a letter on the CAF blog in which he takes responsibility for the accident. Shepard wrote in part, quote, "I was the pilot on that flight and I take full responsibility for what was simply a case of pilot error. Rest assured that our Mustang did not have any sort of critical engine issue, and the damage it has sustained is completely repairable. I am extremely remorseful, and as the squadron leader, I pledge that I will be at the forefront of ensuring the plane returns to service as quickly as possible." It's reported the aircraft is being shipped to Air Corps Aviation, the World War II aircraft specialist who led the 2 previous restorations of this aircraft. The CAF Red Tail Squadron Logistics Team says that the unit will meet its obligations for the 2016 season of the We Will Rise Above tour. Other CAF units and Mustang operators have stepped up to make their aircraft available for the Red Tail Squadron events if needed. After the break, Mile-Hi Skydiving gets airport board approval.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. In this report, we find an example of a skydiving operation and an airport board working together to resolve a problem. The Longmont, Colorado Airport Advisory Board has recommended to the City Council that it approve a new lease with Mile-Hi Skydiving, allowing it to continue operations at the airport. The problem came about because of the wording in a previous lease agreement from 2007. That agreement had been for a substantial amount of property which the skydiving company did not use. Instead, the skydiving company erected a building for their operation. Because the lease was for the acreage, not the building, no lease payments had been made. Mile-Hi Skydiving and the Airport Advisory Board have now reached an agreement on a new lease based on the property being used for the existing building. A back payment amount has been agreed upon, and the City Council is set to consider the new lease after its meeting later this month. With some 2,000 Aero-TV programs webcast to cyberspace, sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
First airplane I ever flew. Got to bring it into Oshkosh this year with a bunch of other Cubs, so doesn't get any better than that.
If you hear the expression, a sea of yellow airplanes, you know we're talking about Piper Cubs. This video is our report of the 75th anniversary celebration of the Piper Cub at EAA AirVenture. Search A Sea of Yellow on Aero-TV's news channel. After these messages, airlines post a help wanted sign.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. U.S. Airlines have been adding employees in recent months after years of cuts that began shortly after September 11, 2001. It's reported that Southwest and American have added more than 8,000 employees in the 12 months that ended in November 2015. A company best known for its large industrial drones has introduced its first consumer product. Powervision Robot has rolled out the Power Egg, which features an innovative egg shape that can be easily folded and carried in a backpack. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own UH-60A Black Hawk helicopter, the U.S. General Services Administration has 4 on the auction block through early March. All 4 are currently located in Huntsville, Alabama, and the opening bid on each is $200,000. Bombardier Commercial Aircraft and PSA Airlines have signed a heavy maintenance agreement. Under this contract, all heavy maintenance tasks for the airline's fleet of CRJ-200, CRJ-700, and CRJ-900 aircraft will be performed at Bombardier's West Virginia Air Center. The Balloons Over Paradise event, sponsored by the Seminole Casino Hotel in Florida, has postponed the event for this year. They say that due to recent rains, the water table is high and it is too muddy for spectators. Well, that's the trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. An amendment added to the Aviation Innovation Reform and Reauthorization Act of 2016 to reauthorize the FAA, which was passed by the House Transportation Committee last week, includes an amendment that could breathe new life into flight-sharing online companies like FlightNow. The FAA had previously determined that private pilots could not use the internet to find passengers willing to share expenses on flights, saying that it was a commercial enterprise and therefore pilots not complying with commercial operation requirements were not eligible. But Congressman Mike Sanford offered an amendment which was accepted by the committee that would ensure that a person who holds a private pilot certificate may communicate with the public in any manner the person determines appropriate to facilitate a covered flight. A covered flight is determined as an aircraft flight for which the pilot and passengers share operating expenses in accordance with FAR 61-113, which says certain expenses of the flight may be shared with the passenger. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us in a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.